Let's you and I go on a journey of imagination as we immerse ourselves in this green pool of pea soup and imagine what it was like to be a German soldier on the Eastern Front in 1941. So the recipe for this pea soup with sausage, Erbsensuppe mit Wurst, comes directly from the book Gulasch Kanone, a book all about German field kitchens in World War II. We're gonna get it started off today with a couple of slices of bacon chopped up. The recipe is for 2 servings, and you can find it down below in the description. We're gonna start with some bacon. We're gonna let that stuff saute in the pan. That's gonna give off a bunch of grease, which we will use to saute our other vegetables in, and it's gonna give the soup an incredible flavor. All right, gonna let that bacon sizzle in there a little bit. You can see it's just rendering all kinds of fat. The bottom of the pan is already nice and covered in fat. Oh yeah, oh that looks good, and it smells incredible. What could possibly go wrong with bacon? To the bacon sauteing in the pan, we're gonna add an onion and 2 leeks. Stir that up. That is a fantastic smell. To the onion and 2 leeks, we're gonna add 2 cloves of garlic. Chopped up nice and fine. Oh my goodness, that is an incredible smell. That smells really good. The combination of that bacon and those aromatics, oh my goodness. All right, to the bacon and the aromatics, we will add 2 carrots chopped up. A little stirry stir. To our chopped up carrots, we will add 2 diced potatoes. Oh. That's looking good. Now into the soup go the spices, salt and pepper to taste, bay leaf, parsley, oregano. I put a little smoked paprika in there, not actually in the recipe, but I do enjoy it. And I personally believe in overspicing everything. Stir that up. Stir it in real nice and good. Once our veg starts to look a little bit translucent, we are gonna add 6 cups of chicken broth. Now this is optional. If you don't have chicken broth, you can use chicken bouillon. If you don't have chicken bouillon or chicken broth, you could use water. Won't taste as good, but water will work just fine. But like any good German field kitchen, I'm gonna have to improvise a little bit here. I've only got 4 cups of chicken broth. The recipe calls for 6, so we are gonna have to cut it with a little bit of water. All right, that's 4 cups of chicken broth, so we're gonna add a little bit of water. This will dilute the taste a little bit, but we'll get the proper amount of soup. Save that guy for later. Finally, it wouldn't be pea soup without the peas. So, 1 cup of rinsed split peas. These are Goya brand. Of course, you can use any you want. Rinsed split peas, 1 cup of. And they're being a little bit of a pain. A little difficult to work with because when I rinse them, suddenly got really sticky. All right, ooh, that is a lot of smoke. All right, my dudes, that's the peas in the pot. Now we're gonna give it a good stir, make sure everything is mixed in together. And in the last 20 minutes of cooking, we will add the ingredient that brings all the magic. These meals not only offered soldiers sustenance, but it gave them just a little bit of a taste of home. The recipe was just similar enough to their wives or their mothers as to transform it into a wholesome, delicious, and quite frankly, looked forward to meal. In June of 1941, Germany launches Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. Initially, they had some incredible successes. In a letter back home to his wife, General Hoth had said the vast distances of Russia were just swallowing them up, and the Red Army was like a hydra. Anytime they cut down a division here, 10 more would pop up someplace else to take their place. Because of the fuel shortages, they relied very heavily on trains. Now, Soviet trains use a different gauge than the rest of Europe. This was done intentionally to help prevent invaders, and it certainly caused the Germans a lot of problems. On top of all of that, there was disagreement between Hitler and his top generals like Guderian and Hoth as to what the primary objectives should be. The generals wanted to go after Moscow, thinking that if they captured Moscow, they would decapitate the Soviet Union, that would be the end of it, they would capitulate. Clearly these men were not students of history and forgot all about Napoleon. Hitler preferred to pursue economic objectives in southern Russia, specifically the Caucasus oil fields. But the stops and starts and the changes in tempo and focus had the Germans still about 100 or so kilometers from Moscow when the fall muddy season set in. We're seeing the same thing happen now in Ukraine. By the time the mud froze and the attack was able to continue, the supply situation was terrible. The German soldiers were without winter equipment and they were freezing their balls off. They were utterly exhausted from like 3-4 months of straight combat. The casualties were far higher than they were supposed to be, and their equipment was worn down and beat up. And lo and behold, they got within a few kilometers of Moscow, but couldn't seal the deal. As the winter snows kicked in, Russian reserves from east of the Ural Mountains pushed the Germans back about 100 kilometers. They never got that close to Moscow again. All right, our pea soup has been simmering for about an hour. It looks and smells absolutely delicious. And now is the right time to add all the magic. That, of course, being the Wurst, or sausage. Your average German soldier would have considered himself very lucky to actually get sausage in his Erbsensuppe. But even if they didn't get it from the field kitchen, German soldiers often did carry smoked sausages with them as a part of the cold rations that they were issued. You know, things like Landjager or Knockwurst or something like that. So it's possible that they could have accommodated themselves here. Any type of smoked sausage will do. This is a nice beef kielbasa, so I am excited to taste that. We're gonna let this simmer for about another 20 minutes and then it will be good to go. I'm pretty certain the average Lancer would, oh no. I'm reasonably certain the average Lancer would have been served this meal with a nice chunky piece of bread. This gorgeous homemade loaf of bread here, you might see it in another video coming soon. The German soldiers' bread ration was 16 ounces a day. In fact, approximately half of their calories for an entire day came from bread alone. This soup, with the sausage in it, has about 600 calories per canteen cup full. So you figure 2 bowls of this a day, 16 ounces of bread, there's your 2,400 calories right there. Oh yeah, look at that. Just want to toast this baby up a little bit. Just get it nice and hot, because there's nothing in the world like a nice hot piece of bread. That is looking fantastic right there. I'd say we're about ready here. Let's do this. Oh, look at that. That is just gorgeous right there. Let's just do it this way. A little bit of everything in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, the smell is utterly fantastic. I can smell the spices, the pork from the bacon, the meat from the sausage. Everything's looking fantastic. I'm gonna try a sip of it just out of the cup like this, and then we'll dig into the chunks. Well, it's good. Spicy and savory, extremely savory. Oh, that bread's fantastic with the soup. Oh, that's so good. A lot of people think making bread at home is difficult. It's actually very, very easy, and it's so worth it, because that is delicious. Incredibly savory. I think that's from all the onions. Oh, wow. Salty, spicy, savory. Really, incredibly warming. Oh yeah, this piece of that sausage. I can't even begin to tell you how tasty that is. It's like an explosion of flavor in my mouth. Under the normal run of things, I probably wouldn't say this is one of my favorite soups ever. It's a little bit too much with the onion and the leek, but I'm envisioning myself in a foxhole right now. I mean, I'm outside in the winter. It's pretty cold out here. And this is just warming me up right here. Like I can feel it just traveling throughout my body. If you're outside in the wintertime, you're in a foxhole, it really wouldn't get much better than this. The warming effect that this soup is going to have on you is just unbeatable. That is exactly why it was an extremely valuable ration for the Germans in Russia. It's only 600 calories and it's not really all that filling. I'm giving my body the perception of being full by gulping down all this liquid, eating this bread with it, and probably chasing the whole thing down with a cup of coffee. You would feel full. Basically trick your body into believing that you've had enough to eat. The Wehrmacht might not have been masters of food science the way the United States military was, but this is like down-home country cooking good sense right here. Thick, hot soup, cold day, warm you up, make you feel full. Fantastic. Shut up. Pea soup, who knew? Fine dining it may not be, but a filling and hearty meal for a cold day, perfect. About 2/3 of a canteen cup of that, one hunk of that bread, and I am full, satiated, and happy. The only thing that would make this meal better would be a cigarette. I gave them up years ago. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, share, do all the things. It helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate that. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, consider becoming a member. You get a vote on what videos get made next. If you want to see some other German World War II rations, or just World War II rations in general, check out this playlist over here. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, share, and I will see you next time. Peace!